11th day of the month of November 2024. A beautiful day and a very significant day, of course, in the history in Nigeria. And of course, looking at several events that mark the day, the uniqueness of the day is still standing in very strong as people continue to celebrate the significance and also underscore the history behind the 11th. Welcome to Big Talk, live from the nation's capital. My name is Deacon Michael. Tonight, we'll be going towards the humanitarian angle as the recent declaration of war on beggars in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Minister, and the demolition of homes along Airport Road is drawing a whole lot of mixed reactions. Those that are having a concern, especially at the time when our nation is grappling with a significant housing deficit and economic hardship due to removal of fuel subsidies and the floating of naira. There are those that are given a session that the demolition of houses at a critical time like this is amounting to economic waste and benefit no one as it further worsens the housing crisis. Tonight, we'll be looking at the concern towards the development of FCT and those that have been, those houses that have been demolished recently that has sparked a lot of concern and reactions here at the Federal Capital Territory. To the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, he has also given a session on why he's not going back on that single actions and that no amount of protests and actions that may be taken by the public may actually derail his attention towards fixing the Federal Capital Territory, and that no amount of blackmail from civil society organization will stop the government from doing the right thing. He has described the action as doing the right thing. Wike'S said that in order for the reason of the demolition is to ensure adequate security of lives and property of the people of the Federal Capital Territory and the people residing here at FCT. Tonight, we'll be x-raying the impact and implications of these actions and also underscore the need to drive development. And can development strive without demolition? Can demolition also be done in a way that it will not affect the livelihood of the people, which has continued to show concern? FCT Chairman of African Action Congress, again, Robert Ande is my guest tonight. It looks to be looking at these issues. Thanks so much, Honorable Comrade, for joining us on the program. A lot of a big concern. First to say, as one of those who have been residing in the Federal Capital Territory, you know better about how FCT's development is on the top agenda of government. Rather, would you feel that the actions that have been taken is not timely, but this is needful for the safety and development of FCT?
Thank you very much, and I'm happy to be with you once more. We cannot do away the fact that we need development, and we cannot also say development has to be in charge when humanity or human beings are suffering. What is the development all about? First and foremost, the development has to be in place because there is human being. And secondly, you cannot bring development when there is no humanity. As in, what's the essence of the development if there is no humanity? Now, in as much as we are saying develop the nation, develop the country, we also must not do away with the fact that the people you are developing the country for are there and must be protected. You don't have to come just all of a sudden and sack everybody, demolish their buildings, put them under horrible conditions, and then expect that people should be quiet. And then in the end, what you are trying to say, what you are trying to do is to bring more hardship, is to bring more problems to the country, is to bring more insecurity. So we are saying no, that is not the way to go. And that is our position. Thank you.
I mean, when you look at the fact that what the minister is really looking at is about the security. He said that some of these, residents of these areas are unknown residents in respect to the fact that if anything should go wrong, can we hold them accountable? So it looks that the group of people that are perpetrating, evil and havoc in the Federal Capital Territory, are you not considering towards the direction as well?
That is laughable. Why I say it's laughable is because no Nigerian is supposed to be undermined. Every Nigerian is supposed to have a place to live anywhere he goes, as long as Nigeria is concerned. I don't think the minister is correct saying that those people are not supposed to be there, because you don't.
Do they own the certification to those areas they are staying? Are they legally occupants of the area?
What is the Constitution telling you? I don't want to sound like I'm a lawyer, because I'm not. But what is the Constitution saying about the people that are supposed to be residents in FCT or in anywhere in Nigeria? The Constitution is very clear about it. These guys have stayed for close to 40 years in a particular place. They have met a lot of ministers, not just Nelson Wike, and they have lived their lives, even giving birth to a lot of people, generations. I mean, that is like 30 years over. And then you come one day, just demolish them like that, sack them, try to put them under horrible conditions. What are we looking at? I mean, we are human. So, I don't think what the decision of the minister is correct.
All right. In as much as there are those concerns and the fact that it due to the economic situations we have in the country and what effort government should rather do, in addressing all of the economic hardship that a lot of Nigerians are being confronted today, and displacing people from their homes quite may be a concern, but this should be an alternative. You were at the site of the demolition. You visited, you saw the reactions of the people, and I think you also interacted with the people. Has there been any arrangement? Because when you are displacing some persons, you have to resettle them in one location just to be able to also not allow innocent ones to be victim of such circumstances.
But that is what we are saying. That is why we are singing it, because there's no legal provision for these guys. There's nowhere to go. They are stranded. In fact, if it is raining now, it will be raining right on their heads. It's that horrible. Children of 3 years being displaced. And then what are we talking about the future? If you're saying development, I think the best way to start development is with humanity.
So it's not about destruction of buildings.
It's not about destruction of buildings. It's not about destructions.
Oh.
Even if you have to destroy, even if you have to demolish certain buildings, you must have certain
plans
to
accommodate all of the
exactly
victims.
That is what we are saying. You don't just come and displace people and feel you're doing the right thing, because the Constitution is not even backing you. And the worst aspect of it is that you're not even doing it to a national interest.
When you say national interest, is it not to get...
You are not demolishing these buildings because there is a major national project
that they want to cite in this area.
Yeah, you're not demolishing these buildings because probably you want to have a major railway, or probably a highway, as the Constitution is mentioning. You are demolishing these buildings because you want to accommodate them, or probably hand them over to your personal friends.
Well, we've seen that threat that no one should buy those properties. We've also seen speculations about all of that, but that is not really the essence. We're trying to look at the intentions, because one way or the other, the people and the occupants of that area may be right, And here, FCT ministers and the FCT administration may also be right. But we're trying to look at how this action probably would have been taken without people really being victim, because we've seen in like the coastal road of Lagos and all of that, people are being compensated. There are a lot of compensation to cushion the effect of all of that. Look at the timing of these interventions. Let's assume that the intentions of the FCT administration is very genuine in order for them to drive these development, in order for them to take this action. Looking at the time, do you feel that it is timely enough? You look at how the economic situations in hardship and all of this concern.
If it was good for us to have these things happening now, we wouldn't be shouting. Nigerians wouldn't be like complaining. We are here to say, to give a direct message to the FCT minister that look, it is not now. The hardship on Nigerians is already enough. You must stop pushing Nigerians to further commit a lot I don't want to mention bad names, bad scenarios on the public television, but you must look at the scenarios, look at the situation of people, look at the condition of people, look at the condition of the country before you take certain actions. Are
the government not really paying attention to the people, plight of the people? Because when you look at the government putting a whole lot of
government that is concerned about the people would never take such draconian actions. It is very horrible to displace people, even children, burn down their schools, take away a lot of their properties, and the remaining one you burn them down and still allocate the land to your personal people instead of allocating the land for national issues, so that people will be clapping for you. Probably you've done something close. Even at that, we'll still complain. But now it is a thing of a personal thing. You are allocating this land not to the national interest, but to selfish individuals who wants to just occupy.
All right.
Because they are probably rich. FCT is not supposed to be only for the elites.
Does it look like we are overcrowded? Does it look that FCT is overcrowded?
Where is the crowd in FCT?
That's the
How many are we?
They're saying that the crowd is more than the expectations of the infrastructure.
That is not also correct.
Infrastructural development we have.
That is not.
Our infrastructure match the number of people.
Let me give you an example. If you go to Asokoro now, there are a lot of empty buildings in Asokoro, Metama and the rest. What happens to those buildings? Where is it? Okay, basically, if on weekends, if you are within FCT, how many people will you see? The people that comes to FCT particularly are coming.
You mean the center city?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean the center city. They are coming just to work and go home. Most of them are living in remote areas. It's not everybody that can afford housing here, which is also not even supposed to be. But we are not looking at those angles. Our concern is to have people displaced, and then we end up talking about insecurity. You demolish somebody's house without thinking about what the next action he's going to do.
Because the action is to address insecurity. Would that action?
That is a very wrong approach. Civilized nations don't do this. You cannot go to some place, to people's environment, demolish a complete community, allocate the land to a particular person of your choice, displacing over 3,000 to 4,000 people, and you think things are going to be okay. These guys contributed to the growth of this FCT. Most of them are the ones that have all the buildings we have in FCT. Most of them are the ones having these buildings in place. Most of them are artisans,
It looks that they're painting the picture of that is an hideout for some criminals, the elements and all of that. So if we look at the fact that the FCT minister has declared war against, kidnapping, all those insecurities threats that was confronting the FCT.
When has
because you don't want the FCT to be safe. You want the FCT to be safe.
Exactly. Everybody is concerned about the security of the country at large. But when has demolition become a security?
What if it becomes hideout?
No, there will be no hideout with that crowd. This is a community. Even if we are talking about the security aspect of the whole of this, I don't think it is wise to say an entire community is a hideout for criminals. I don't think it is wise to say that means you are going out of the law, because everybody there in that community, nobody has reported any form of threats. Nobody have said they are violent people. Nobody have said they used to unleash criminality on fellow Nigerians. But you just end up going there for your own selfish reasons, to go and demolish them without even a single help. It is annoying. It is not even acceptable at all. It's not even supposed to be mentioned.
They are also concerned that it looks that they are not original, would I say, occupants of that land. Some of them are from Yobe, some of them are from Adamawa, and some of them are from Borno State, who probably, were forced out of their homes, and now they came into the FCT to situate within this area. There are those factors that it looks that even we are not sure of these people. We don't know the statistics of these people.
But I still want to refer you back to the Constitution. What is the Constitution saying?
There's a freedom to move.
And then when you have stayed in a particular place for more than 30 years.
Does it look that those people have occupied that place for that number of years?
But they have done more than that. I don't just want to say it. Probably I'm counting my words, but they have made a lot of generations there. So what are you now telling me? What is the Constitution saying? Are we supposed to be underrated in our own nation, in our own country? These are Nigerians. They deserve respect. If there should be any form of demolition, there should be an alternative. There should be a dialogue. There should be a place for them to live.
Was there no form of negotiation within?
Nothing is on
the
ground.
Community leaders.
Nothing is on ground. They go there. In fact,
was there a warning ahead of time that, look, where you are occupying, we are making moves to demolish?
Look, even if there is a warning, is that constitutional? Are you supposed to just
to court?
You are demolishing them to go to where? And I don't want to go into these court issues. You understand? Look, they have to end everything in the court.
But does it look that they went to court?
From my little understanding, the day I was there, I was with a senior, comrade, a comrade that I respect so much, Adeyanju, and I believe they are about taking an action through his apartment, his legal apartment. But I don't also want to conclude that every action in Nigeria must end in court. It is not correct to say that these guys must be in court.
Is it a fear of settling dispute, or is it the fear of the right thing will not be done, or is it that he's not worthy of going to court?
Well,
because when we look at these people are disagreeing within land disputes.
I am always very certain that our judiciary is not in shape. You don't, and with the look of things, I don't want to say some persons are above the law, but it is very clear. It is very clear, because some persons are taking actions.
It looks like justice is not served for all in Nigeria.
Yes.
And from this case,
and that is why we are quick to go. Look, if these areas were occupied by the elites, you will never see anybody going there to demolish. So they make it look like an ordinary Nigerian, a commoner, a poor person is not supposed to leave.
Because President Tinubu said, allow the poor to breathe. Is these actions taken against the poor?
That is contrary to what we are seeing.
Because this president said, allow the poor to breathe.
It's contrary, because I think I take that word as a joke, because himself is not even showing the example.
Yeah, but he's trying to, his effort in reforming the economy. Economic reformation. Economists will tell us that sometimes it takes time to, even the IMF and the World Bank has given a projection that we have to be consistent with their action now for the next 10 years or thereabout for what we are asking for to utilize.
My brother, it is so unfortunate that Nigeria is just becoming, will I say, a joke. Because everybody is just it's just all about himself. Nobody is caring about anything anymore. You understand? As in, even the people that we are supposed to be trusting that they are the ones in power, they are the ones that are supposed to be showing certain consigns for Nigerians to feel that, oh, things are going to be normal, are the worst. So, where are we? Now, that is why I will always tell you that for now, still, I don't have confidence in the judiciary. That's just the truth.
I know, because there are a lot of issues about rendering people homeless, and we are afraid that in the bid to fight insecurity, we may probably also, on the other hand, be increasing threats to insecurity here in the Federal Capital Territory. Let's look at the concern about allocation of these lands. There are a lot of demolitions that probably are taking place so far in the city, and one who has been in this, as brought up, or would I say, and one of those that owns the FCT by virtue of the fact that you are FCT chairman of a party, it also looks clearly that there might be a plan, a blueprint for FCT development. Do you have an idea about this? If this is put to check and put to watch, guiding the FCT administrations in carrying some of these, would I say interventions or concern, would they rather not probably be in consultations with stakeholders? What has been your assessment within this gap?
But that is why we are always saying it. In fact, my political party, the African Action Congress, had issued a statement regarding this before even the minister started all these demolitions of a thing, and there were very clear solutions. One of which you just mentioned now is to consult the stakeholders, and I wonder the kind of stakeholders, probably from his own side, that he conducts before carrying out these actions, because it is very, very annoying to mention the fact that he does not even listen to anybody apart from his particular his clique, apart from his own caucus. I don't think he's even ready to listen to anybody. Otherwise, we've made a lot of statements, we've made a lot of concerns, we've even called his attention to so many things. But in the end,
look at the minister is saying he's projecting FCT to be one of the best cities in the world. That it has a vision.
Nobody is against that. Nobody is against that. The truth is, are you following the law? Are you following the due process? Nothing is done lawlessly, except you want to make Nigeria a lawless nation. Except you want to say that everything must be done because you are a tyrant. I never wanted to mention because
no one is a tyrant there. It's under democracy.
But that's what I'm saying. Except you want to show every Nigerian that, oh look, I'm above the law, I can do and undo. Otherwise, what are you projecting? What are you showing the future? I mean, this development we're talking about is for the people. It is not for himself.
So it looks that the people are not accepting the development.
The people are accepting the development, but they want it in the right way.
Does it not take pains? Because those that say if we want to accept and embrace development, it comes with pains, it comes with sacrifices, it comes with endurance.
Already Nigerians are going through a lot of pains. Must you add to them? Must you add to them? The pains on ground already.
It's not taken by FCT.
Well, most of them are taken by here as far as FCT is concerned.
Well, it's not taken by the FCT administration. The FCT administration will tell you we are running our own, dispensation separately.
I understand completely where you're coming from, but is the FCT administration not part of the government of the day? And then must you have to force people to go your way always?
Isn't it the issue of agenda? Every administration, even if your party came up with, you would have had an agenda for FCT. We don't know how much buildings you would have destroyed.
No. I will not be tyrannical.
You will not destroy properties.
I will not be tyrannical. We must destroy, we must allocate, we must do the right thing constitutionally. Look, nobody should deceive you that we don't have these things written.
Politicians cannot be trusted. That's the problem.
Well, my own party, if we hear anybody from AAC, trust him.
But Nigerians will tell you, if you give one power, it probably is a time for you to test it.
That is what they will say.
So,
but who told
because they have also tested some individuals that have failed in leadership. Young people who have failed.
Have you asked them if any AAC member has been tested and is a failure?
But that's not really the focus of the day. We're looking at the people's interests. We're looking at what the pulse of the people. And if government, at the other hand, are going towards this direction, and the people are not seeing it within the direction that government are projecting some of the development and intentions with. Because when you look at the economic policies and reforms of the president, he's saying, I'm transforming our economy for the better days, for sustainability. But on the other end, Nigerians are saying it looks that we can't agree with your economic reforms. The hardship, its persistence is too real. These are two different directions. Do you feel that is the issue of trust? Do you feel that the government at the other end are not communicating clearly to where they are taking Nigerians to?
The communication is even not there. But it's far from the communication. Instead of communicating, why not say the action? Because there's no action in place.
Government action so far?
Yes.
For 18 months?
We're not seeing it. There's nothing in place. There's nothing in place. The only thing we know that this government is best at doing is have their way to silence people.
People are speaking, people are talking. Yes. That's the reason why you're still talking.
And that, but
so when you say silence of people, there are those that feel that, look at the issue of protest.
The reason why some of us must not stop talking is because we are in it. Go to an ordinary Nigerian and ask him. They'll start telling you the fear of the government. You understand? So it is just that bad. They don't want anybody to speak.
But if we must look at the policy itself, rather than just throwing tantrums on them, does it look that clearly there is no better days, there's no light at the end of the tunnel? Because these are the people that really matter. Forget about 2027 ambition. That those that tell you you want to rule Nigeria, so Nigerians first must survive before any year that any party will comes into power. But for the fact that we must survive first, and let's analyze, let's put our searchlight on the economy reforms, the projection, the indicators of the president. Does it not look that clearly we are going to come out of the situation we are today?
My brother, there's nothing different from what you used to know. Failure is failure.
Is it the failure of the party or what?
The failure of the APC, failure of Nigerian leaders, failure of those in power. And there are no two ways about it.
Should the governor be exonerated from this?
Governors, they are all in the same failure. Imagine a governor, and I don't want to mention the states, paying 11,500 to civil servants in his state.
That was on the old minimum wage
I am
standard.
telling you that he is still paying 11,500. And I don't want to mention the state right now, but you need to make your research.
I'll do that clearly. But in the bid to driving all of this, because we are looking at concern about the hardship already in the country, and that those that are having a concern that all hands must be on deck, does it look that clearly there are more to assisting government, drive out the reform? He has reshuffled the cabinet. President has reshuffled the cabinet. He was looking at it. Oh, it looks that these ministers are not performing. I have to do this. Nigerians were saying reshuffle the cabinet. He did. People went to the street to protest, and some of them were arrested. And the government said, oh, there's no point to detain them, there's no point to charge them to court. He has freed some of them. It looks that government, on the other end, clearly listening to the plight of the people. But actions have not really been measurable to the economic indicators we have.
I want to ask a question to you.
You want to ask me a question?
Yes, I want to ask you a question.
But I'm your interviewer.
Yeah, I know. But let me revise this question a bit. As in, just perfect. Can you give a dead man medications to fix himself?
If I can give a dead man?
Yeah, medications to fix himself. Like to make himself well. You can't kill a country and expect that it wakes and starts working.
Who killed the country?
Yes, the leaders. Particularly, I will mention the president.
No, this president is inheriting a bad economy. He has said that.
Well,
that is reforms.
Wait, excuse me. Did Nigerians force him to come to power? I keep asking these questions when such questions are coming.
If anybody had gotten the job, don't you think that he would have still find it very hard to
if you shouldn't go for the job if you cannot do what is right. Because what he has done in the end is completely damaging the system. Nigeria is the worst country to live in the whole world now.
On the flip side, is it damaging the system to fix the issues? Because those that said subsidy is evil. We can't stand
it is
that
damage
subsidy. Multiplier. Because we can't. But you subscribe to subsidy removal. You agree that they should not be subsidizing the product.
Over my dead body. That was his first failure, and I keep mentioning this on every platform I find myself. Should
he continue to pay subsidy?
My brother, subsidy is supposed to be on everything. You are supposed to subsidize food, health, education, everything. You're supposed to subsidize. Why should we remove the subsidy in the first place?
Where would government get money to subsidize when government said we do not have enough, even our crude is running out of stock, so we have to look at how we can diversify?
Then we're talking about capacity. Nobody forces you to be in power if you have no capacity.
Does it look that they've won or transformed Lagos? Does it have the capacity now to do it?
They are archaic in reasoning. That is why the whole thing looks like it is hard to fix. Nigeria is not a complex nation. I keep telling people, even though you argue with me heaven and earth, this country is not complex. It takes a leader who understands what he's doing to fix this Nigeria. That's all. It's not complex.
Well, because clearly, when you look at the complexity, it's not just on the part of leaders. Even Nigerians also.
But that is what I'm saying.
Also have the
boiling down to leadership. All is still boiling down to leadership. If you don't have a good leader, my brother, you feel everything is it's just like normal plus calculation. 30 plus 30. Some persons will say it's 30 as the answer. It takes a leader to tell you he's 60. So it's just a simple calculation. But it's not complex.
But do you feel our problem is spiritual? Because there are those that also have a concern that
what's spiritual about Nigeria?
That the Nigerian problem is enormous and it looked at it as a spiritual.
No, don't bring that into its discussion.
It's just on the lighter, not because of that concern. But
no.
Everyone, let's get to catch up with a very short break right away. And once we return from the break, yes, the demolition has continued to spark a whole lot of concern, and those that have been rendered homeless, which many Nigerians has continued to condemn the actions. Recently, there have also been a process. They are actually challenging the process, which should also be of utmost transparency in protecting the rights of all parties that are involved, both the government and both the occupants of that facilities and the property. So, of course, after a quick break, once we return, we'll be looking at what better solutions should rather be adhered to in respect to addressing that concern, and also looking at the concern of hardship in the country. Was it the right time for the actions? Was it the right time for the development? We'll look at that after the break. Please stay with us.
For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight.
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on global televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
Many thanks for still staying with us on Big Talk. A concern on the Federal Capital Territory, the developments, the implications of the war against beggars on the streets and wrong occupants in the respective localities here at the Federal Capital Territory. Let's now x-ray the concern on the FCT placing a ban totally on the beggars, and which, according to him, he has vowed to reiterate that commitment in respect to addressing, the very issues, insecurity that has been confronting the Federal Capital Territory. I still have the AAC as the chairman here with us on the program. Yes, just a few weeks ago, we saw the actions taken against beggars, that those that are having a concern, that, it was quite very disturbing that if you go to other major cities in the world, that especially, the nation's capital, that are obtainable, that those that are on the other end are applauded the minister. Yes, it's an action well taken, but there are other angles to that concern. Tell us more.
Let me first of all say that it is even a disgrace, a big disgrace on Nigeria to even tag her citizens beggars. It is a big disgrace. The reason I say is a disgrace is because any working nation has no beggars. Now this government has practically made everybody a beggar. So if you're attacking certain people beggars, it means all of us are beggars. The only people that I would say are not beggars are the elites. Those in power, because they are using our resources using our taxpayers' monies, using a lot of things that should benefit the common man for themselves and themselves alone. So, in the first instance, why should you wake up and tag people beggars if yourself is not confused? It shows that you are a failure. You are not even working in favor of your nationals, in favor of your people, in favor of your countrymen. So it's a total failure on your side first to even tag people beggars.
Because it looks like those people are lazy, because that those that are having a concern of people, being engaged, and for people to be engaged are those that are having a very, having a proper way of describing people who probably don't want to who don't want to do anything, who don't want to be engaged, who don't want to work, who don't want to serve,
My brother,
who don't want to participate.
Okay,
because economic hardship is real and hard on everyone, but it takes hardworking Nigerians to survive in the time.
I understand completely where you're coming from, but I will ask a question. Has the system permitted working? Has the system itself, designed by these same elites, permitted working?
Are people not working?
Now, if you go to any ministry that is employing, you see only the children of the elites in those ministries. If you go to schools that are very, very quality in nature by their design, you see only the children of the elites. In fact, they have so damaged the system that even the schools I'm talking about are no more, that they have to send their children abroad to go and study and come back and still rule the commoners here. Is that the system you are saying people are lazy under? No Nigerian is a lazy person. Call anybody you are telling me that is lazy in Nigeria, fix him somewhere and see what he will do. Nigerians are not lazy. Nigerians are, and that is why anywhere they go to, they survive. They do excellently.
So what is prompting people to be on
Bad
the
leadership
and begging and disturbing?
Bad
Because
leadership.
It's very challenging.
Corrupt criminals in power are the root cause of this hardship.
Is that what
It's
it-
making people to go begging, because everybody is using Nigeria as will I say a factory, a business venture that they would always gain profit from. They are using Nigeria. Nigeria is no more a nation to them. Nigeria is a place to make profit for themselves.
And
That's how the country is.
And the question the minister has posed is that, when people move from their state, respective state, to FCT, the first thing, second thing is that they start begging. That is a concern that FCT is not a dumping ground, for people who probably do not really, yes, in quotes, they are being confronted with economic hardship. Should FCT rather be a dumping ground?
I don't want to sound rude, but I don't think the minister is making any single sense saying such words to Nigerians.
But are people migrating into FCT every day?
Look, Nigeria, like I said before, the constitution guarantees every Nigerian to move anywhere he wants to live. To move to anywhere he wants to live. And you have to be given the full assurance of being a full Nigerian anywhere you are. I don't even understand where he's coming with these ideas. These are just dictatorial ideas. As in, you don't have to restrict people. Begging, you said beggars. Okay, you tagging people beggars. You've not even made any provision, any way to help them out of that situation. You've not even made the system workable for them. You've not personally called them and asked their reason. You've not addressed the root cause of their begging. You just jump one day, put soldiers, the security on the streets, to tag them one name, give them one name.
So
Operation Sweep. Sweep what?
So you are saying that is not the best
And
solution.
in the end, these guys go killing people. That is the worst aspect of it. Because they are working under the instruction of a minister.
So you are saying that is not the best solution in addressing
arresting
arresting Nigerians on the street who are indulged in begging are not probably was that a sign? Well, let's look at that action because it was just a one-day exercise. Was it a sign?
You don't have to criminalize beggars because they are not criminals in the first place. Now going up and down, arresting them, brutalizing them, some taking to the station, some even killing them.
We have not confirmed that. So
probably you've not, but I've seen a video of these guys brutalizing people to death. Only that one day. We have seen a video, and I'm not scared of presenting it.
All right. As we begin to wrap up on the conversation, just because of time, because that those that are having that all of this pressure is just coming at a time where our country is facing a whole lot of economic crisis. We've had government comes and go. We've had PDP government. We've also had first 8 years of APC government. That those that are having a concern that it looks at the direction where the leaders are taking us to are not right. They are not making sacrifices. And the president has called on Nigerians to exercise some patience and make some sacrifices. And part of those sacrifices and what I will ask you as we wrap up on the conversation tonight. Should we, as the sacrifices been enough, as Nigerians made enough of sacrifices, and also assessing what leaders are doing, is it also commensurable to what they are asking Nigerians to?
But if we must speak about any form of sacrifice, is coming from the poor people, from the poor Nigerians that suffer from this corrupt system, insecurity, and general hardship. It is so annoying that people cannot even feel. Go to the market today. So, if we must talk about sacrifices, who is making more sacrifices than the public, than the general public? In fact, in other nations, what is happening in Nigeria now, you will never see this everywhere, this calm. But we are still silent, we're calm. Nigerians are so, in fact, they can take anything. And I think it's very, very, as in, if anybody should be praising anybody for making sacrifice, I think the whole world should be praising Nigerians for being very sacrificial.
All right. A lot of concern of how that can go and the impact and broader concern on the state of the nations, the economic situations, and the factors that are driving all of that. Because when government said we're making sacrifices, and it clearly also looks at the sacrifices of government and are commensurate to what they are tasking Nigerians to. It poses a lot of question mark, and the question mark of many Nigerians is to what extent can we continue to make these sacrifices? I understand that we share all of that concern and having to understand that we must fix this country. This country must be fixed.
Exactly.
You agree totally to
no
that?
Matter how long it takes.
We must fix this country.
And it doesn't matter how these guys in power loot up the whole national resources. We must
fix this country.
That is my take.
All right. Again, Robert, and there is FCT chairman of African Action Congress. Thanks so much for being part of the show tonight and sharing your insight.
Thanks for having me.
On Big Talk.
Thanks for having me.
And as well, we wrap it up on the conversation tonight. A lot of concern, which is highly disturbing, especially at a time when our nation is grappling with a lot of housing deficit and economic hardship. We are having to experience some demolition of some houses and properties here in the Federal Capital Territory, which many has continued to raise eyebrow on that concern, and also declaring war on beggars. Should that be the way forward? Should rather government also see how they can create an enabling environment for people to be engaged positively and away from that description beggars. Well, we'll look at other issues subsequently on the program tomorrow. Do always stay with us on Big Talk. My name is Edikan Michael. See you again.